Welcome back to Dead Smoke Radio. I'm your host, the Phantom Hater, haunting your feed with radio waves straight from the other side of the grave.
And I'm your host, the hash-smoking slasher, slinging dope takes and ripping real reviews.
This is Dead Smoke Radio. No signal, no sanctuary.
Thanks everyone for tuning in to tonight's broadcast. Whether you're packing blunts, ripping ass, or shoveling shit, you've clocked into Dead Smoke Radio. Transmission's live, and the smoke's only getting thicker. Like my head.
And a very special shout out to the Dead Smoke Radio Discord, the real gravekeepers defending us against the fog. Vecna's here, and we're gonna need all the help that we can get. Don't let him guilt trip you. He's just mad because I ate the last cosmic brownie. Find your way to the Dead Smoke antenna or check the description below to our link to the Upside Down. That's where the smoke dominates the fog. Exclusive sneak peeks, Dead Smoke history, community polls, and a chance to win $1 million. Wait, scratch that last part.
Stranger Things Season 5 is so close.
I can almost taste it.
Dead Smoke Radio is back in Hawkins, bringing you the latest recaps YouTube and Spotify have to offer. We'll be recapping Stranger Things Season 4. Transmission 1 broadcasts from beyond Hawkins, stuffed with more horror, raving reviews, and places so smoke-filled, you'd think we were on fire.
I'm on fire! Okay. It's all right, you're not on fire! I knew it, you're lying! I'm burned! There is no fire!
He's running around like he's on fire?
Oh my God, help me! I don't want to die!
It's November 7th, and Dead Smoke Radio is still kicking it. Every Friday at 6 p.m. from October 3rd through January 9th, we've got Stranger Things recaps, movie reviews, special guest appearances, and more.
It's our 6th episode of this transmission, and the fog grows relentlessly. It beckons, and it bellows louder, closer, and clearer than ever before. New characters, major problems, and the inevitable overthrow of Fetty Wap and his puppet Vecna. But you think we're scared? Yeah, maybe a little. But Pandora's box has been opened and there's no leaving Hawkins now. Let's condense the fog that covers the mystery behind Season 4 of Stranger Things.
This season kicks off with a flashback to 1979, with Papa walking into the Rainbow Room, showing all the different child test subjects that were there at the time. He tests a boy named 10 by asking the boy what he sees when he shuts his eyes. He tells Papa that he sees other people and that they are in trouble. He states that 6 and Dr. Ellis are dead. Suddenly, the door bursts open, knocking Papa unconscious. When he comes to, he finds the entire facility brutally massacred. He walks into the Rainbow Room to see 11 standing in the middle of the room, surrounded by all of her dead peers, concluding to Papa that 11 must be responsible for this chaos. Flash forward to present day, Mike and his gang are in a new D&D group called the Hellfire Club, led by the King of Freaks, Eddie Munson. 11 explains to Mike that she is excited to see him for spring break. She mentions that Will started painting, Joyce is looking for a job, and Jonathan has a new stoner friend named Argyle, or Lyle for short.
Hold on to your butts, bro chachos.
Susie helps Dustin change his grade from a D- to an A-. Steve and Robin continue to bond over their similar girl problems while still working at the video store. And Lucas is now a part of the Hawkins High School basketball team, but there seems to be some tension between him and Max. Lucas tells Mike and Dustin that he's still their friend, but this is their chance to be cool like him. They choose the silent option in this telltale scenario after he asks them to go to the basketball game that night, which causes further division between the boys. Joyce receives a mysterious package in the mail. I wonder what it could be.
It's my dick in a box.
She opens it and finds a creepy Russian nesting doll, one of those dolls that gets smaller and smaller as you open them. Eleven struggles at school as she presents a diorama of her hero, Hopper. She's made fun of, but not only by her classmates, but also her teacher.
In order for better understanding, we've asked students of Canadian origin to introduce you to their culture. And hey, Leslie, shut your f***ing mouth!
Max heads to the school counselor and notices one of the students, Chrissy, leaving very disturbed. No, not that disturbed. More like troubled.
Mark, are you drinking whiskey?
I'm troubled.
Max talks to her counselor about her life after Billy passed. She feels like a ghost of who she once was. Lucas even notices this. When she leaves and goes to the bathroom, she finds Chrissy puking in a stall. After attempting to check on her, Max leaves, but soon after, Chrissy is starting to hallucinate these crazy visions of the Upside Down. Mike and Dustin try to reschedule their campaign with Eddie that just so happened to be called the Cult of Vecna. Huh, how fitting. Joyce gives Murray a call after receiving a strange package from Russia. He explains that it could be a trap.
It's a trap!
But Joyce breaks it open anyways, hoping somehow Hopper is still out there.
Are you there? Talk to me, Joyce! 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 Joyce!
Yeah,
What happened?
it broke.
Inside, she finds a ransom note that hints that she's not totally crazy and Hopper is still alive. As Mike and Dustin try to recruit people for their D&D session, Chrissy is seen walking by herself through a field in the woods like Little Red Riding Hood going to her grandma's.
Afternoon.
Hello.
So, you're the little girl in the red hood.
She sees a grandfather clock carved into the trees with spiders crawling out of it. She runs into Eddie, realizing that it was just a dream. She buys a half ounce of weed off of him, for one hell of a deal by the way, but ultimately asks for something stronger. 11 fails her test, continuing to be bullied, and completely herself in front of the entire school. Also, fuck Will for just standing there and doing absolutely nothing. And I thought Mr. Wheeler was a loser.
What'd I do?
Cut to Tammy Thompson absolutely bombing the Pledge of Allegiance. Erica, who's now in the Hellfire Club, after impressing Eddie enough to join. The D&D session begins, and simultaneously, so does Lucas's big basketball game. Lucas shoots the winning point, and Hellfire defeats Vecna. After the game, Lucas notices that his friends weren't there, and that they were having fun without him. Max is feeding her good boy doggy when she notices Eddie and Chrissy entering his trailer together. Chrissy hears Vecna's the bell chimes one final time. Eddie is gone, and she is in the Upside Down once again. She experiences some messed up shit in Vecna's underworld and starts to levitate in the real world, showing that she is in a trance-like state. Eddie watches terrified and completely helpless as Chrissy is brutally discarded by Vecna, scarring him for life.
The episode kicks off with a flashback to Hopper's last-minute escape from the catwalk explosion. He lands unconscious, but somehow he's still alive.
No. It's not true. That's impossible!
Max wakes up in the middle of the night, clearly freaked out, showing early signs of self-medicating with Tylenol. Meanwhile, Hawkins police swarm Eddie's trailer, finding something off. And of course, the government's quietly spying on the scene. At the airport, Mike waves at Eleven, or Elle as he still calls her. Eleven wants the day to be all about her and Mike. So now we know that the day's not going to be all about her and Mike. Murray is also at the airport, taking a cab to Joyce's house, and Steve and Robin are grinding away at the video store. Things take a darker turn when the news reports Chrissy's murder. Max and Dustin piece together clues with Steve and Robin, who immediately suspect that Eddie is guilty, but Dustin staunchly defends his loyalty, saying that Eddie stuck his neck out for him once, and now he's going to do the same. After Max catches Dustin and the group up, they head out looking for Eddie and search for more answers. Also, Max mentions that Eddie reminds her of Ted Bundy. Eddie? Teddy? Fetty? It's all connected. They find him in a boathouse owned by the local drug dealer named Rick, and catch him up to speed about the events and how the entire town hates him. Dustin reveals that Vecna is a dark wizard who gives out shitty Minecraft enchantments, like Curse of Vecna. What a dick. At least give me mending. Joyce and Murray track Hopper through the coded messages and mysterious phone calls. Hopper's alive, but captured by the Russians, facing interrogation and suffocating in a gas mask filled with Russian gas. And I don't mean knockout gas. I mean the silent but deadly kind of gas. They're farting into it. Eleven is at Skate City with Mike and Will and gets humiliated by her bullies. They basically pull a carry on her, and when Eleven tries to use her powers, they don't work, and she looks like a total dork.
I'm making a complete what of myself? The most embarrassing thing you've ever seen?
Well, she fights back without her powers and smashes that little bitch's face in with the skate to the face.
In the face!
The Upside Down's influence spreads as Jason and his basketball friends react to the news about Chrissy possibly being killed by Eddie. This sends the team on a wild goose chase, with Lucas eventually revealing that Eddie is in the same group as his sister, the Hellfire Club. Nancy investigates Chrissy's death and uncovers connections to historic horror cases. She learns about Victor Creel and his backstory, how Vecna is also known as the Boogeyman in Hawkins.
Boogeyman?
By the end of the episode, Nancy's friend / assistant Fred—
Hey, it's Fred!
no, not that Fred, this Fred.
Right. Okay, gang.
No, not that Fred either. Okay, dude. Who the fuck wrote this? Oh yeah, that's right, I did. Anyway, Fred is trapped in a deep hole with spiders crawling out. Vecna lends a helping hand and raises him out of the hole. Unfortunately for Fred, Vecna's still pretty pissed off at me for taking the last bag of Scooby-Doo fruit snacks, and kills Fred in retaliation, signaling that Hawkins' nightmare is only just beginning.
Meanwhile, in California, Eleven is still marinating in that post-roller rink felony energy. The drive home is awkward as hell. Jonathan and Argyle are higher than Russian spy balloons, trying to comfort her like, "It's cool, the skate wheels are soft in case someone gets schmacked." Eleven is just sitting there, fully knowing that she turned a human face into chunky salsa, staring out the window like she's one bad day away from snapping a skate again. They get home and Murray is in the kitchen wearing an apron, whipping up gourmet risotto like this is Top Chef Trauma Edition. Jonathan and Argyle are vibing, eating like they've never seen food before. Joyce is trying to lie her way through a conversation about her quote-unquote work trip while plotting an Alaskan rescue mission like she's Jason Bourne with mom guilt.
Facial recognition got a hit. Jesus Christ, that's...
Joyce!
Nobody notices that Eleven is quietly falling apart because everyone in the house is running on delusion and THC fumes.
Nice. Nice. Nice.
Upstairs, Mike finally tries to talk to Elle, and she's fixing her little model of Hopper's cabin like it's her emotional support diorama. She calls him out for never saying "I love you."
And guess what? I love you, I love you, I love you!
He stutters, deflects, blames long distance, blames the bullies, blames the weather probably, blames everything but himself. She says that she does not feel like a superhero anymore. He does not fix that. He just stands there like a wet napkin with a bad haircut. Then the cops show up with an arrest warrant in hand. They snatch Eleven up like she did not literally save the world twice. Mike and all the boys panic, but there is no Joyce, no Hopper, no Powers, nothing. Mike is yelling promises down the driveway, but still cannot choke out those three little words. The police load her into the van, drive into the desert, and suddenly, black sedans swarm. Eleven tries to escape, but gets scooped up instantly by the pursuing agents. Doors open, and it's Dr. Owens. He hits her with the whole world is ending speech, tells her that only she can help, and that he has a way to get her powers back. He gives her a choice, and of course, she's like, "Yes, sign me up. I have demons to fight and trauma to process here." Meanwhile, Hopper is in Siberia doing the most ballsy, disgusting prison survival mission ever. He literally gets his ankle smashed by a sledgehammer so he can slip the shackle off. He and Enzo pretend to hate each other while secretly plotting and praying Joyce does not get scammed by some dude in Alaska who looks like he sells yogurt out of his coat. Joyce and Murray take off to Alaska like a chaotic suburban spy duo with zero action plan. Back in Hawkins, Nancy is playing reporter at the crime scene while Robin tags along. Lucas is stuck with the basketball squad, who has now decided that they are the Holy Crusade mob. He's trying to play both sides without getting stomped out by the dudes who think that D&D is complete witchcraft. Dustin, Max, and Steve find Eddie hiding like a raccoon behind a dumpster of fear. Eddie is fully fried mentally. He saw a girl levitate and crack like a glow stick, and now the whole town wants his head on a silver platter. They tell him the truth about the Upside Down, and Dustin finally names the big bad Vecna. Welcome to the apocalypse, Eddie. Nancy and Robin hit the library digging into Victor Creel, his haunted house, and his whole family that died. Guy said a demon did it. Normally crazy talk, but this is Hawkins, so honestly it sounds like a normal weekday. They decide to con their way into an asylum because apparently illegal investigations are now part of the school curriculum. Max, meanwhile, goes full detective, swipes the counselor's key, breaks in with Dustin and Steve, and connects the puzzle pieces. Headaches, nightmares, nosebleeds, visions. Chrissy had them all. Fred had them. And now she has them. That creepy-ass grandfather clock appears in the wall like a paranormal eviction notice. Max freezes, the clock echoing, the world glitching out. Max realizes that she is next, and there's absolutely no plan to save her.
Jonathan, Lyle, Mike, and Will are sitting down with a couple of government agents who tell them straight up, no cap, for real, on God, that they need 11 to fight against Vecna, and that they'd better keep their mouths shut or else no more Red Bull.
Okay, no more Red Bull.
One of those agents hands Mike a note from 11, and it reads,
You all appreciate it. Dear Mama.
Wait, no, that's Tupac. What it actually says is, Dear Mike, I've gone to become a superhero again. In Hawkins, Max tells the group she's been seeing a grandfather clock, but it's gone now. They search through the school counselor's reports, and they realize that both Chrissy and Fred experienced the same curse before they died. Vecna's curse. Max admits her time might be running out, but out in the hallway they hear a noise, and Steve moves to investigate. Lucas jumps out at the team out of breath and calls for a code red. He warns them that the basketball team is out hunting Dustin because they think he's hiding Eddie. Over at his house, Erica paints her D&D miniatures when Jason shows up looking for Lucas, only to realize that he's been played. Dustin rivals the detective genius of even Hank Schrader. He suggests that the Upside Down might be ancient, even predating mankind itself. While he's just trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. Nancy and Robin cook up a genius plan and infiltrate the asylum and interview Victor Creel. Robin delivers this passionate speech that wins him 30 minutes with him. Joyce and Murray are off in Alaska, booking a sketchy hotel room and prepping for their meeting with Yuri. Murray's being extra cautious, reminding Joyce how important timing is. Back in Russia, Hopper's gearing up for his big escape. He sneaks through the rail yard, knocks out a guard, and lights a whole TNT stash to cover his tracks. Barefoot and half-human Popsicle, he finally finds a safe house and breaks down when he finds a jar of peanut butter. But the relief doesn't last. Yuri and the pilot end up betraying both him and Enzo, and it turns out the coffee he gave Joyce and Murray was drugged. Max writes goodbye letters to everyone, a failsafe, as she calls it. She plans to go to East Hawkins, insisting on driving until Steve finally caves in and takes her and the rest of the boys. But before she can leave, she hears the grandfather clock again. It's haunting her. At Penhurst Asylum for the Insane, Nancy and Robin finally meet Victor Creel, who is none other than the legend himself, Robert England. Don't know him? This might help you recognize him. Anyway, his family was tormented by something evil, something that wasn't animal or even human. He describes mutilated animals around his property, terrifying nightmares, and an impending sense of doom. We could only hope that the Doomslayer would enter this universe. He says that this spirit or entity took pleasure in tormenting him and his family. It cursed their home and took his wife first. Then he tried to save his kids, but he was thrown back into a hallucination of the war, forced to relive the bombing that haunted him before. By the time he snapped out of it, his children were gone. Max heads home to drop off her letters, but finds her mom outside hanging laundry. As they hug, the sky darkens and the clean clothes turn bloody. Vecna appears, and Max realizes that's not her mom. She collapses, trapped in Vecna's nightmare realm. After coming to, she heads back to the car to drive to Billy's grave, where she reads Billy her note to him. It's very heartfelt and emotional, but short-lived as Vecna once again slips her into a trance. As he taunts her, she's surrounded by bodies floating and the remains of Chrissy and Fred. Vecna grabs her and declares it's time for her to join the Fetty Wap army. Dustin, Lucas, and Steve scramble to save her, and Dustin plays her favorite song, S&M by Rihanna. Oh, wait, no, sorry, that's my favorite song. Max's favorite song is Running Up the Hill by Kate Bush. This opens a portal back into the real world. As Vecna begins the end for Max, she starts remembering everything. Her friends, her brother, all the good moments she thought she'd lost. She fights back, even ripping part of Vecna's neck open before making her escape. She's barely alive, but she's free. Nancy and Robin get caught and kicked out of Penhurst, but soon after, Robin connects the dots. Music is the key. Just like with Will and the Mind Flayer, music is the lifeline to reality. Team Mike barely survives a military ambush, Hopper's hope for freedom shatters as the safe house is raided, and Joyce and Murray are now in deeper trouble. So it ends on a mix of triumph and dread. Max may have survived, but now Vecna has a full hard-on from Miss Wheeler's hot ass.
Hey, bro, did you hear that?
Yeah, nice try, dude. You're not fooling me again.
No, seriously. It's like someone's playing a JBL speaker outside of the studio.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I hear it. Oh, yeah, what the fuck? I hear it now, dude. Is that Fetty Wap?
Oh shit, he's here!
This is the hash smoking slasher to all Dead Smoke radio personnel. This is not a drill. We've got a 2319. I repeat, code red. Code red.
This is the Midnight Ghost. I read you loud and clear, Dead Smoke. Don't worry, the cavalry's arrived.